Hello everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the stress on an oblique plane in the condition of direct stress condition. So for this, let's consider a bar which is acted upon by external force F. So this prismatic bar is acted upon by external force F, and this F force resulting into a direct tensile stress sigma. So we can say this F force resulting into direct stress, sigma x along its length along its length. So as we know that the sigma x can be obtained using sigma x is equal to f divided by cross sectional area of this prismatic bar. So we can find out the sigma x using this formula. F is external force and Ca is cross sectional area of this bar. Let's consider the thickness of this bar is unit thickness in this direction, and now the stress on any transverse section, or we can say any transverse section, let's consider this transverse section BCE or BCDE. So we can say on the section on transverse section BCDE, the stress would be sigma x. And we can now the stress acting on any arbitrary plane. So if any if we consider any arbitrary plane ACDE, let's consider a arbitrary plane ACDF. So this arbitrary plane is inclined at theta angle from the vertical plane. So we can say this plane is inclined at theta angle from vertical plane. Vertical plane. Here vertical plane we are considering this is BCDE. So this ACDF plane is inclined at theta angle from vertical plane. This angle is theta is this one. So here the sign convention for theta is we consider theta throughout this module. We'll consider theta as positive if theta angle is in clockwise direction. If theta is measured in clockwise direction from vertical plane, then this theta is considered as positive. So if we measure this theta in clockwise direction from vertical plane, then this theta is positive. Or if the theta angle is measured in anti-clockwise direction, in this direction from vertical plane, then theta would be negative. So theta would be negative in this condition. So this is the sign convention for theta angle. So if this f results into the sigma x, so sigma x is equal to f by cross sectional area. So here would be sigma x is equal to f by cross sectional area. So now let's consider this plane. If we draw this plane here, this BC line represents the BCDE plane. This BC line, this represents the BCDE plane, and this AC represents the ACDF plane. So let's consider the BC is that this length is dy and AB is dx, and perpendicular to this paper the thickness of this prismatic component is unit. And let's consider the length of this AC is ds. So this is ds. So as we know that in this direction the stress is sigma x, this is sigma x, and this inclined plane AC will have two stresses. One is direct stress, normal stress sigma theta, and one is tau. So we can say this would be our tau theta. So this AC, let's consider this AC plane will have two component of stress. One is direct stress sigma theta and one is shear stress tau theta. So if we find out the forces on these faces, so we have to multiply these stresses with the area of these planes. So now we can say the force on this plane. So we can say force on this plane is, this is forces. So this is sigma x multiplied by area. Area is dy multiplied by unit thickness. This dy multiplied by unit. So dy multiplied by 1. And the force in this direction is sigma theta multiplied by ds multiplied by 1. And the force, or we can say tangential force because of the shear stress, this would be tau theta multiplied by ds multiplied by 1 in this direction. As we know that this component is in equilibrium, this component is in equilibrium, so we can apply the force equilibrium condition over this component. So if we apply the force equilibrium, so we can say we can apply the force equilibrium on this or these planes. So force equilibrium condition, so if we apply this force is sigma x into dy, this is sigma theta into ds, and this is tau theta multiplied by ds, and this angle is theta. So before applying the force equilibrium, we have to resolve these forces in this direction. So if we resolve this force into this direction, then this component would be, we can say this component is, if this angle is theta, this angle would be theta, and this would be sigma x dy into cos theta, and this component would be sigma x dy sin theta. So now we are having, earlier our coordinate system was, this is x and this is y. Now our, this is x dash and this is y dash. So now this angle is theta. Now we have to apply the force equilibrium on x prime and y prime direction. So we can say the, in this direction the force equilibrium in x prime direction. So in this direction, from this figure we can identify the forces. One force is sigma x dy cos theta and one force is sigma theta into ds, and both are acting in opposite direction. So we can say sigma x multiplied by dy cos theta, and if we are taking this positive then this is negative, so minus sigma theta into ds is equal to 0. Or we can write sigma theta is equal to, so from here we can find out sigma theta, using this equation we can find out sigma theta is equal to sigma x dy cos theta divided by ds, and as we know that this can be written as, from this, if this is dy, from here we can find out, if this direction is dy, this is x, this is ds, this is theta. So we can say dy equals to ds cos theta. From this figure we can find out this dy is equal to ds cos theta. So this dy or we can find out ds is equal to dy over cos theta. So in this equation we can write dx dy cos theta over, at the place of ds we can write dy over cos theta, so this becomes dy over cos theta. So from here dy can get cancelled out and this becomes sigma x cos square theta. And similarly, if we apply the force equilibrium in the y prime direction, if we apply the force equilibrium in this direction, so in this direction there are two forces, one is sigma x dy sin theta, second is tau theta into ds. So we can write the force equilibrium in y prime direction. So y prime direction is this direction. So in this direction there are two forces. If we write this force as positive, then this would be negative. This is opposite to this one in the direction. So here we can write sigma x dy sin theta. So this is sigma x dy sin theta minus tau theta ds is equal to 0. So from this equation we can find out tau theta is equal to sigma x dy sin theta over ds. And again we know that this ds can be written as dy over cos theta. So here we can find out dy, we can replace this ds with the help of this as a dy over cos theta. So we can write sigma x dy sin theta over dy over cos theta. So this dy gets cancelled out and this becomes sigma x sin theta into cos theta. Again, this sigma x into sigma x sin theta cos theta can be written as, we can write as tau theta is equal to 1 by 2 sigma x sin 2 theta. So here this cos sin theta cos theta, we write it as 1 by 2 sin 2 theta. So this is the formula for tau theta. So this is the shear stress at inclined plane, oblique plane, which is at theta angle in clockwise direction from transverse plane, and this is the formula for sigma x, which is, this is the formula for sigma theta, which is sigma theta is equal to sigma x cos square theta. So this is the normal or direct stress at oblique plane, which is inclined at theta in clockwise direction from vertical plane. So these are two stresses. So here in this case we can say there would be one stress at this plane sigma x. So because of this sigma x there would be two stresses, sigma theta and tau theta at inclined plane. This theta is positive because our sign convention from vertical plane in clockwise direction, we consider this theta is positive. So these are the stresses. In this we can consider tau theta is equal to positive 1 by 2 sigma theta sin 2 theta. But in this tau is in anti-clockwise direction. This tau theta is in anti-clockwise direction. So according to our sign convention, tau theta in anti-clockwise direction must be in, or you can put the negative sign here because of this anti-clockwise, or we can write this is in anti-clockwise direction. So this negative sign decides the direction of tau theta. So here we consider tau theta in this direction. So our result was positive, and according to sign convention, tau theta in this direction must be considered as negative. So you can put negative sign, or from starting you can put the tau theta as negative if you are considering in this direction. So this is sigma theta and tau theta. Now when the theta is 0 degree, we can say if the theta is 0 degree, then if theta is 0 degree means we are talking about this plane only. If the theta is 0 degree, then if we are talking about this plane only, and in this plane we know that only the sigma x is exist, or we can say only the diet stress is exist. So there must be a tau theta must be equal to 0. So let's check out whether the tau theta is 0 or not. So if we consider at theta is equal to 0 degree, so we can say if we put the theta equals to 0 degree in this direction, then this would be sigma theta is equal to sigma x cos square theta. So this becomes cos, this is cos square 0 degree, then this becomes sigma x only, and this is correct. And tau theta must be equal to 0. So tau theta is equal to minus 1 by 2 sigma x sine 2 theta. If we put the theta equals to 0 degree, then this becomes 0 and tau theta is equal to 0. So this is correct one. And as we know that if we put the theta equals to 45 degree, then we can find out the result accordingly. So in this, important is sign convention. If we consider the theta in anti-clockwise direction in this direction, then this is negative. If we measuring the theta in clockwise direction, then this is theta in clockwise direction is positive, and theta in anti-clockwise direction is considered as negative. And tau, which is trying to rotate the component in anti-clockwise direction, or we can say if the tau is something like this, then this is trying to rotate this component in anti-clockwise direction. So we consider this type of pair of shear stress as negative. And if the tau is trying to rotate the component in clockwise direction, or we can consider like this, so this pair of tau will try to rotate this component in clockwise direction, then this type of shear stress is considered as positive. So in this case, we got the tau in anti-clockwise direction, which is trying to rotate this component in anti-clockwise direction. So we can say this would be negative here. So this is all about the stresses on oblique plane in the case of direct stress only. Now we can find out the resultant stress of this sigma theta and tau theta. So let's consider for the resultant stress on the inclined plane. So we can say resultant stress on inclined plane, resultant stress on inclined plane or oblique plane. So if we find out the resultant of the sigma theta and tau theta, then sigma r resultant stress, sigma r is equal to sigma theta square plus tau theta square. And if we put the values of these, then this becomes sigma x cos raised to power 4 plus sine square theta cos square theta is equal to sigma x. If we take out the cos as common, then this is cos theta, and this becomes cos square theta plus sine square theta. So here again this cos square theta plus sine square theta becomes 1. This becomes sigma x cos theta. So resultant stress is sigma r is equal to sigma x cos theta. So now we can inclination with the normal stress. So we can find out the inclination of this sigma r. So if this is our plane, this is sigma theta, this is tau theta, and resultant of these two would be here, this is sigma r. So we can find out the resultant or angle of the sigma r with this sigma theta. That can be find out using, so we can say sigma phi, if this angle is phi, and then tan phi is equal to sigma x sine theta cos theta over sigma x, this is sigma x cos square theta, so that becomes tan theta. So phi equals to theta only. So in the next lecture we'll consider the biaxial stress condition, and we'll find out the normal stress and shear stress on the oblique plane in the case of biaxial stress condition. So thank you.